Greetings. My name is Steve Hall. I am professor of accounting, and I'm your instructor for this semester in Accounting 350. I wanted to take a minute and go over the syllabus together. And so if you don't have a copy of the syllabus up to look at, you might get one now. And pause this video, go get it, and come back. And we'll go through the syllabus together, okay? Welcome back. Welcome back. Let's go through the syllabus together. So we're Accounting 350. The prerequisite is Principles of Accounting 1 and 2. I'm your instructor, Professor Steve Hall. I have a PhD in accounting, and I'm a CPA. The contact. You can contact me anytime. I'm going to log in to the class almost every day. I forget sometimes on the weekends, but every business day and sometimes on the weekend I'll log into the class. The best place to leave questions would be on the discussion forum, and then whatever question you ask, all the students get the benefit of having an answer to that question. If you need to contact me outside the discussion forum, you can email me. That's the best way. I check on my email several times a day. I also open the office each week, and you can call if you want. Although I check the voicemail just when I come in first thing every morning, and that's about it. I'll answer all the questions you have about class and clarifying concepts. Hope you'll contact me with any concerns or questions. On the other hand, much of the benefit you get from the class is puzzling things out. Okay, trying to figure out how things work. And I expect before you come and ask me questions about individual problems that you will have done a good deal of puzzling first. So you can tell me where your puzzling went wrong, or how your puzzling led you to the wrong answer. Okay, and the number's there for technical support if you need help with the technology. Required materials: you need Intermediate Accounting, the Keeso and Wygand textbook. I don't have a copy yet myself. I use the electronic version. But it's Keeso, Wygand, and Warfield in Intermediate Accounting by Wiley. It's a 16th edition. It's the newest edition. The newest edition always costs more. I understand that. But the reason we use the newest edition is because accounting standards change all the time. You want the most updated standards, because they're the ones that will be tested on the next CPA exam. And so you need those. If cost is a real problem, I would just buy the electronic version of the textbook. It's less than $200. You get the electronic version of the textbook. You get access to Wiley Plus, where you do your homework and so on. I understand that the hardbound paper version is several $100s. And you'd also get the loose leaf version, which is also quite handy. It's about half the price of the hardbound version. Anyway, so you need the textbook in some version, and you need access to Wiley Plus. This is an in-depth study of basic financial accounting and reporting principles, procedures, and financial statements. We have some individual course objectives there on the syllabus, and you can look at those. You can look at those on your own. In essence, we want you to know 14 things by the time we're done, and you're going to have to know them in fairly good detail. The principles classes provide an introduction to accounting. It's sort of what accounting looks like. What we do in intermediate accounting, in almost all cases, is we take you into the detailed reporting requirements that CPAs out in practice really use, or accountants out in practice really use. That the FASB, that the government, through the Securities and Exchange Commission, actually require firms to use in their financial statements. So when you have this class, it's not a question of what does accounting look like. It's you can now perform accounting procedures as they're done in practice, as are required by accounting rules. That's a big step up from what you did in the principles of accounting. In fact, we're only going to cover half of what you did in principles of accounting, and we're going to take twice as long. We're going to take just as long, and you're going to do twice as much work, cover half as much stuff. But when you get done, you'll know how to do it correctly and well. The class procedure is conducted in weekly cycles on Canvas. And I believe your syllabus there still says Blackboard. I'll fix that. Weekly cycles on Canvas and Wiley Plus. So on Canvas, you will you get in and see what the module for the week looks like, what all the assignments are, what you have to read, instructors are going to do the homework, if there's any discussions, any work outside of class, any projects you have to do that week, it'll all be there. The exams you have to take, the quizzes you might have to do, it's all going to be on Canvas. Wiley Plus will have the textbook, of course. You use the electronic version of the textbook, but it will also have all of your homework. Okay, so you're gonna do this in two places. You come into Canvas to find out what you have to do for that week. You go to Wiley Plus to do the homework. Okay, and there will be an instruction sheet about how to get into Wiley Plus here in Canvas as well. I think I might have put it up already. If not, I'll go find it and put it up. It'll probably be under Documents. It could be under Module 1. In general, for non-exam weeks, the cycle begins and ends Monday at noon Central Time. The cycle requires reading the textbook, watching some narrated PowerPoint overview of the chapter. Well, you can. That's supplied by Wiley Plus. Watching lecture. I've recorded it on it'll be there on Canvas as well. It's an ILOS button. Okay. Taking a quiz, engaging in class discussion, and completing homework assignments. We'll get into the class discussion in a few minutes. It's different from other class discussions you've probably done in other classes. Wiley Plus also contains some demonstrations and tutorials for topics covered by most of the homework problems. So if you have a homework problem and you're having trouble with it, you can go to Wiley Plus and they'll have a tutorial which shows someone solving a similar problem. Okay, so Wiley Plus is nice in that way. Questions regarding topics covered in class should be posted to the class discussion board, and so the class can address some of those questions, and I can address them as well. In a face-to-face class, you can be expected to attend class for 3 hours each week and spend on average 6 hours reading, studying, doing homework. Now that's an average. Some weeks and some students require less, and some weeks and some students require more. You'll want to set aside approximately 10 hours per week for the class. Some of you may need more. Some of you might need a little less. The first few chapters will need less time than you need later chapters, so you don't want that bit to make you think this is about a time you have to spend every week. Okay, so some weeks is way less than 10. Some weeks will be more than 10, on average 10 hours a week about. 3 exams will be given. All exams will be proctored. 3 exams plus a final exam. Okay. All exams will be proctored. For those in or close to Kearney, the exam can be taken on campus during regular business hours. And for those who are not close to Kearney and cannot take the exam during normal business hours, will need to find a proctor using the university policies. And the syllabus online will have the proper web link to the form you'll want to use. For homework, you'll do exercises and problems from Wiley Plus, and those exercises will apply and reinforce important concepts we've talked about during the week. These are due on the day and time that the cycle ends, so your homework is always due Monday at noon. Okay, the credit for the homework must be submitted on time. And the publisher software doesn't accept late submissions. So when the time's up, it will just submit what you've done. And you get graded on that. You have 3 problems that will be assigned that have to be done using a computer spreadsheet. Students learn better the actual accounting topics we're talking about when you have to program that into Excel than by working on a paper. It's just always been the case that you really have to know it well to get Excel to give you the right answer in every contingency. So the first two of those assignments can be done in groups of up to 3 students. Online students generally don't do them in groups, but you're welcome to, if you find some people you can work with, do them in groups. The last one has to be done individually. And the due dates will be discussed in class. Another thing we need to do for this class is a mock job interview. Now, for those, again, who are close to class, you can come into Career Services and do a mock job interview with our people there, okay? And you'll come in and they'll give you interview questions like you were doing a real interview, and then you'll have a discussion of where you did well and where you could improve. Those who don't live close to campus or don't want to make the trip in to talk to Career Services, there's a big interview application on the Career Services website. And you can use Big Interview for your interview. And in that case, you will have some questions given you and you'll give your answers. And that gets recorded by Big Interview and sent to me. Okay. And I can evaluate how well you did. Okay. So I'd also encourage you to go to the Career Services website and look at the Preparing for an Interview tab, or not a tab, but the Preparing for an Interview section, and they'll give you some good pointers about how to prepare for an interview, so you're prepared and be able to do a good job in that case. What we want you to do now, several months before your first real job interview, for some of you anyway, is to be able to interview well, okay? And be able to communicate well. The discussions are more cases than they are discussions. So you're going to be asked questions that must be answered on a group discussion board. And you need to post your initial response by Thursday of the week. The question is assigned. And the discussion with your group on the discussion board, you'll develop a group response by the end of the following weekly cycle. And your score will be based 50% on the group answer and 50% on your contribution. Now, from prior class feedback, it was decided that it would be better to do these in 2-week cycles. So the class and your homework and all that runs in 1-week cycles. Some of your discussion questions, you get 2 weeks to do them. So be careful as you read in the in each module's instructions. You read carefully to know whether that has to be done in a week or 2 weeks and what the exact due date will be for that group answer. Okay. So what we want is that everybody post a response to the question, and then as a group, you work back and forth between your different responses to hone that into a group answer. Okay. And generally, you get 50% based on your group answer and 50% on how much you contributed, whether you're really engaged or not. So if you're really engaged, you get all 50 points. If you weren't, you get less. Okay. However, if you don't engage at all, you give an initial answer, you don't engage any more. You don't get the group answer points because you didn't contribute at all to them. So the 50-50 is a sort of a general guideline. You could post a group answer, still only get 10 points out of the 100. Okay, so you post your answer, you engage with the group, you get a group answer. All right, now we're on to grading. 90 up's an A, 80 up's a B, 70 up's a C, 60 up's a D. Okay, I do give some pluses. Okay, so if you're 87, it's a B plus, and 77 is a C plus, and so on. We often scale that a little bit. Okay. Because sometimes the highest score in the class at 85%, if I want to give that person an A, I'll have to add 5 points on, so I have to give 5 points on to everybody's score. Okay. So, and generally not just one person. There's a group of people that want an A, so I take the score of the lowest person, again, say that's 85, and I'd add 5 points to everybody's score. So your grades are the 3 exams plus a final of 4 exams. They count 60% of your grade. Homework is 20%. Then you have the spreadsheet numbers 5%, mock interview is 5%, the quizzes are 5%, and your discussion or your cases again are 5%. Okay. Academic dishonesty, don't cheat. Okay. We follow the policy in the graduate catalog. But you ought to know this. They see, in accounting, people believe us, okay? Accounting and accountants have value only because we produce information that people can believe. They believe it because we have the expertise to produce the information and because we have integrity to produce it straight, okay? Take either one, and the value of what we produce becomes zero, okay? So if we're incompetent and we give bad information, even though we're as honest as the day is long, nobody will want it, right? Or if we're experts in providing information, but we're totally dishonest and people know it and they can't trust it, well, then again, it's not worth anything. So for accounting information, accounting profession, and accountants to have value, they have to have both expertise, which I can help you with, and they have to have integrity. I can't help you with that. However, that's the one thing you can just decide to do. I can decide from this point in my life, because I want to be an accountant with value, I'm never going to cheat. Okay? Never, ever. All right, enough of that one. Finals week, we'll follow the policy in the catalog, and final exam will be given in the finals week. So disabilities and those who are pregnant, make sure you contact the disabilities office. The website is, and the contact information is here on the syllabus. And then if you're given an accommodation or need for an accommodation, you see me and we'll work that out. Okay? Anyway, welcome to class. I hope you work hard, you learn a lot, and you find the class both enjoyable and really productive. And I'll follow up with this a little later on. Bye-bye.